Hey guys, I'm TatyWorks, and in this Procreate tutorial I'm gonna show you how to draw the spooky Halloween Scarecrow step by step. Please download free resources in the video description, and if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. I'll go ahead and create a new project by clicking here. One more time. And after that we can enter the dimensions for the canvas. 2000 by 2500 pixels. In today's tutorial we're gonna use various brushes that are already in Procreate. In addition to that, I've made a combined brush set with textures and stamps that will make the process easier and faster. This set is free to download along with the color palette in the video description. If you like my free brushes and YouTube tutorials, please check out my Patreon page, where I share in-depth tutorials and exclusive brush sets. It's also linked below the video. With that being said, let's proceed to drawing. And first I will pick some dark color from the palette. Can be number 1. And in the brush set there is a Scarecrow template. Its size is set to 43%. We just need to tap on the canvas and we can use it as a sketch. I will just drag it a bit down and center it, like this. After that I will create another layer and place it underneath. Let's also reduce the opacity of the sketch, so we can see it, but the lines are not so thick. Around 30% will work. And in the first stage, we will apply base colors. I'll start with the pumpkin, and to paint it, let's select color number 9. For the outlines, I'm going to use a brush from Ink and Set. I want it to be textured, so from here, I will select Ink Bleed, but make the size not so big, at around 10%. Let's outline it following the sketch. I will follow it on the edges. Go up here. Then connect the shape and drag the color inside. I will also slide to the left to adjust color drop threshold. After that I will create another layer to draw another element. It will be the stem. And to draw it, I will select color number 19. Outline it using the same brush, but I will divide it into two shapes. The first one. We can make the lines more rounded. Then connect it here at the bottom. And also fill. With the same color I will paint this oval. It will be just easier to shade if they're on separate layers. Let's create it below. I will follow the sketch here on top. Then connect the invisible part of the shape and also fill. We will do the shading part later. Now let's continue drawing the objects. I will go down, create a layer above the pumpkin and draw the eyes. For that I will grab color number 23. I think we can make the size a bit smaller, like 8%, and draw the inner shapes. I will draw a straight line and then the arc at the bottom. Make sure it is connected. Then I will fill it and draw the second eye. Also start with a straight line and then make an arc. Fill in it and go into the scary mouth. I will also outline the inner part, just drawing multiple curves, trying to follow the sketch. Going to the right side, making these triangles, and from this point it will change the angle, because we need to consider the perspective. So the arcs will look different. like this. They will be smaller here due to the shape of the pumpkin. Now let's outline it at the bottom, the inner part, like this. Just following the sketch. The last line, I also connected it, so now we can drag the color inside. After that I will create another layer below this one and switch to the next color, number 24. Let's outline these shapes under the eyes first. I will start with an arc here. And then connect it with a straight line. I will just continue it. Make a sharp corner here. Then we need to connect it. And after that we can fill. Let's now do the second eye. Drawing an arc first. Then I will connect it with a line. This way. And drag the color. After that I will finish the mouth. Also outlining it like this. On the sketch. I will draw these straight lines and also arcs. Going to the right. This way we will add volume to the pumpkin and it will look more realistic, like it is carved. We need to connect the invisible part here. So I will just draw a line, then connect it with this point and fill. It worked. This is how it will look. Also I will create a layer below this one to draw the lines using color number 7. We just need to increase the brush size. I'll set it to 12% and draw the lines on the pumpkin to divide it into a few segments. This brush is pressure responsive, so if we press more on it, the lines will get thicker. I will start from here and increase the pressure while going up. Same on this one. Let's paint the next one. I will start from the bottom and go up, like this. Draw another one, then one more, and finish it here on the side, like this. Now let's keep it. Maybe we can even group these layers, so it will be a group for the head. Then we need to create another layer and place it under the group. I will grab color number 2, set the size to 8% again, and outline the clothes. On the edges, here I will continue it. Follow the sketch on the sides. Going to the right. Here we have this hole. Then it will continue. And I will outline it on the side, like this, trying to make the lines smooth. Let's be careful here and outline it on this line, because this part will be located behind. And now we are painting only the one on the front. Let me connect it here. Then I will start from this point and work on this edge. connecting these two. And I will also draw these holes. Outline them this way. There is a bigger one. And after that we can try to fill the shape. It's done. Let's create a layer below and paint the other side using dark color number 17. I will continue it here. We can actually connect it and fill it right away. Then I will outline it at the bottom. Also this hole. Let's connect it and drag the color. Then I will outline it here on the right. Go up like this. We can even paint it this way. Connect and drag the color here. Let's also paint this part. I will just outline it and fill. Finally, I will create a layer between these two to draw the arms. Actually, to see the sketch better, we can try to increase its opacity and also reduce the opacity of this dark layer. Now we can see it. Let's go to the newly created layer and draw the wooden sticks using color number 6. I will start from here and go to the right. They will look like fingers here. I'm following the sketch, just trying to make the lines more round, as I already said. So the drawing will look more clean. I connected it here, so we can try to fill. And draw the second arm with another wooden stick. Drawing the curves here, going down to the right side, then a straight line. After that I will connect it and drag the color. Okay. Let's just draw this one. That goes down. This line will go up this way. Then I also connected it and filled. Let's remove the sketch and see what we got. Also, I will bring back the opacity of the dark layer, like this. I think it looks quite cool. And now we can proceed to shading and lighting. Before doing that, let's go to change the background color into some dark shade. Can be number 1. And I think I will first work on the wooden sticks. We have them on the layer 11. So I will create a layer above it. And after that clip, to keep the texture inside. First let's add the shading with color number 7. And as a texture brush, I'm gonna use one from Procreate Textures. It's called Dove Lake. We just need to adjust the size of the brush, I think around 7%. I will start adding this color at the bottom of the stick. We can lower the size to work on the fingers. Then I will continue here and shade them on the left side. Actually, to isolate the fingers, we can use freehand selection, so we don't affect them. We made this one, and then I will outline the one in the middle to shade it easily, like this. Let me add more shading here, just to darken it more. I will also darken them on the tips. And add a cast shadow that comes from the clothes. Around it. After we did that, we can also add a light color. It will be number 8. This time I will paint on the top side. Make the size lower and shade the fingers one by one. This way we don't have to outline them. I will just smudge this area a little bit using fabric texture brush from the set. Its opacity is at 80% and I will make it low size. Just remove this border. Okay, maybe I will just add more dark color here at the bottom. And now it is fine. Okay, let's go to the next one. With the same dark color, I will also add the cast shadow, like this. Then make a stroke at the lower side, adjusting the brush size. I will make it very low and shade the fingers on the sides, darkening the tips. Let's paint this one. Then switch to the next finger. Also darken the tips here. And the last one. Actually, it worked without selection. Let's just add light color. Number 8. I will apply it on the upper edge. Lower the size on the finger. Here I will increase it a little. Then make smaller again. And add the highlights. So now the sticks will get volume. Let's go to the remaining part. I will also start with dark color. Add a cast shadow that needs to follow this edge. And after that apply it on the left side. Going down. In the end I will apply color number 8 on the right side. Let me make the size smaller and highlight it even more. Like this. Okay, let's keep it like this for now. And switch to the pumpkin. I'll just merge these two layers and go to the layer number 9. Let's also use a clipping mask. So I'm creating a new layer and clipping it. Here I'm going to apply a few different colors. 2 of them will go for the shading and the other one will work for the highlights. So let me start with color number 3. Here I'm going to use another brush. It will be the one from Scarecrow brush set. And it's called Fabric Texture. First let's make the size rather big, I think around 15%. And I will start making strokes like this. Around the edges. Going up on the folds. Also here. Around the holes. On the right side. On this hole. And also make a stroke like this. Okay, after we did that, let's make it more detailed. So I will switch to the next color, that is slightly darker. And also make the size smaller. at around 9%. I will make this edge even darker. Also add the cast shadow from the pumpkin. And another stroke here. On the right side it will be more narrow. Then there is also a shadow. And it goes to the right. Let's work more on the right edge. Go down. I will make the size even smaller to create the folds. Let's paint this one. I will also shade the area under this hole, like this. Then it will go slightly down from here. Let's continue. Darken this edge on the left. Make it this way. Then I will reduce the size even more and draw a line from here. Then make the shadow wider. Also around this hole. It will go down, then this way. And I will paint more on the edges to make them opaque. From here it will go up, and with a smaller size, I will draw another fold going up, like this. Let's paint it with low pressure. And then I will darken this area. Let's also do it here. And then I will add a shadow this way, on the edges. Let's also make a couple of strokes on the shoulder. Then another one. A couple adjustments. Let me just darken this part a bit more. And after that we can add the light color. Okay, now let's select color number 5. And with low brush size, I will highlight the edges. Also here on the shoulder. On this part. Then also here, just a little bit. On top. And slightly on the edge, to add some volume to it. Let's also work on the holes. I will highlight their edges. Also on this one. You can make the size even smaller, since the shapes are small. This one. And then I will work on these edges. Make a line here. Also here. And on this side. I think we can highlight this part. Then make the size bigger. And make the strokes on the empty areas, to add even more volume. Like this. Also on this part. It may go up here. And then I will highlight it this way. Okay, let me now create one more layer to add even more texture. So I will add a clipping mask and set it to soft light. Let's use black color here. And in textures, I will select darken. Here the size is set to 42%. And I will make a stroke like this. To add the texture first. And after that, I will go to adjustments and select liquify. I want to make the texture follow the shapes. And for that I'm going to use push. Its size is set to 40%. And I will be just pushing the texture to follow all the folds and angles. Also on this side, it goes slightly to the right. Here we can keep the straight lines. I will just make the size smaller to work on these parts. Make them slightly curvy, so it'll look natural. Like this. Let's make this one a bit curvy. And it will be enough. Maybe we can just sharpen it a little. I will set sharpness to 69%. And in the end merge these three layers. After that, work on the dark part. So first I will create a layer above it. And then also clip. Let's apply color number 18. Let's go to the Scarecrow brush set. And from there grab soft crayon. This brush is from the spooky brushes from my Patreon. The size is set to 62%. And I will apply the texture all over the shape first, making vertical strokes like this, without lifting the pencil up. After that I will go to eraser and set it to soft brush. Let's erase some parts to make it look like a shadow. I will erase it here under the arm, then close to this fabric, also here, then this part. Let's make the size smaller and work on the hole. I will erase it on top. Then also this one, this area on the neck, also here, and on the right side. To add the shadow here too. After that I will go back to brush, but this time select fabric texture. Its size is at 3%. And I will highlight some of the edges with very thin lines. For example here. Then this one. We can highlight the hole here. I will make a subtle line on the right edge. Then this one. So it'll get some volume as well. Let's just not overdo. Okay, I think it turned out quite fine. And now comes the most interesting part. It's the pumpkin. And I'd like to start with the stem. So we can merge these two layers and open the group. Let's first shade this oval. And to do that quickly, let's alpha lock the layer. First I will apply a darker color, that is number 20. And I'm gonna use soft crayon brush from Scarecrow. Its size is at 21%. I will make a stroke on the left. Like this. Then switch to light color, number 22. I think we can make the size bigger, like 31%. And apply it on the right. Just like this. When it's ready, let's go to the next layer. Here I'm going to use a clipping mask. So I'm creating a new layer and clipping it. This way it will be easier to adjust it if needed. And first I will also apply color number 20. We can make the size even bigger and start shading the left side. Also make a stroke at the bottom. That will go slightly up. Let's make it even darker with the color number 21. I will just shade the edge. Like this. After we did that, we can add smaller details. So I'm going to ink in to select Inker brush. First I will switch back to 20th color. Set the brush size to like 7%. And make the strokes. Just a few lines. Maybe we can make the size even bigger. Paint following the shape. After that, let's add some light lines with color number 22. I will make the strokes on top. Let's make a bigger stroke on this side. Something like this. After that I will create one more layer. Also clip it. And draw a line at the bottom like this. Around this part. Then I will smudge it. Using soft crayon. Let's set the size to 10%. And smudge this edge. I made the size even smaller to work here. Okay, this part is ready. I'm gonna merge all the layers for the stem. Then go to the layer number 6, which has this yellow color, and I will alpha lock it as well. Then shade it using color number 25. With soft crayon. Let's apply it on the edges like this. Also this one. I will lower the size. Then make a stroke here that will go to the right. And in this corner. I will keep it highlighted in the center. Now let's work on the mouth. So I will shade it in the corner, this way. Go slightly down. And after that I will shade the teeth with a smaller size. Just add the shadow at the bottom of each small shape. Also this one. And here. On both sides. Just a couple adjustments. And it is done. Let's start shading the pumpkin itself. So we need to create a layer right above this one. And after that I will also clip it. Then I will apply a few different colors. From here. Start with color number 10. I will apply this color using fabric texture. Set the size to 20% and make a couple of strokes on top of the pumpkin. Around the stem. Go a little down on the edges and also here in the center. Like this. Now let's switch to the next color and apply it at the bottom. Go a little up on the sides. I'm not pressing too much on the pencil while making the strokes. Let's darken this side. Then make the size a bit lower. And shade this area around the stem even more. Also go to the sides. Now we can go even darker and select color number 12. I will set the size back to 20% and start making strokes at the bottom, because this part is completely in shadow. So let's make it dark. Then I will go slightly up on the sides as well, like this. After we did that, let's make the size small again and add a darker shadow around the stem, just a little bit. And select color number 13, which is light. We just need to make the opacity smaller, around 60%. Increase the brush size back again. And make a stroke in the center for a subtle highlight. Okay, this is done. Let's add a more detailed shading. But before doing it, I will go to the layer with these lines and blur it using Gaussian blur. Apply it at around 2 or 3%, not more than that. We can also try to reduce the opacity a little, to around 80%. After that, I will create a layer below the lines and also clip it to the pumpkin. Let's use the same light yellow color. Just bring back the opacity to maximum and make the size even smaller, around 4%. Then add highlights like this, close to the lines, mostly on the left side, from each line. This way. Let's erase them on the right side. And then change the color to number 11. Draw on the right side from each line, maybe with a smaller size, like this. Let's go to the right side and paint this way. In the end, I will blur it. Slide to the right side until we can see this volume. So I will set it to 4%. From distance it looks like this. Just a few tiny details in the end. We can actually merge these 3 layers and then create another one. Let's also clip it and set it to overlay mode, or maybe it can be soft light. I want to apply flicks from spray paints. First I'm gonna use white color. The brush size is set to 21%. And I will make a stroke somewhere in the center. Then switch to black. And make another stroke. Like this. If you like, you can play around with opacity. Now let's go to the layer number 6 in this group. It's this one with the shading. And I will duplicate it. Then go to this one. And it is already locked. So we can recolor it right away into color number 13. We just need to click on the layer and click Fill Layer. Now we can move it in this direction. I will just drag it slightly down and to the left, like this. Now these parts will get a highlight. We can actually try to unlock it and blur at 1 or 2%, not more. Now the pumpkin is almost ready. We can proceed to lighting. So I will go to the layer with the pumpkin and merge all the layers for it, including the lines. After that I will create a layer above. Clip it and set it to exclusion. Let's try to apply this color number 14. Using a painting brush. It will be a flat brush. We can set the size to around 4% and start adding the lines on the sides of the pumpkin. Apply multiple strokes. Let's also do it on the left side. Then I will make a few strokes at the bottom of the shape, this way, so it will get even more volume and glow. Just continue the stroke going up, and also on the right side, like this. After we did that, we can do the same on the stem. So I will merge these two layers and go to the stem. Let's also create a layer above it, clip it and set to exclusion. I will also apply it on this dark edge. Go to the side a little and make a stroke on the right, like this. It will be enough. This part is done. Let's now go to the arms. We have them on the layer 11. So let's create another one above it and clip. I will try to keep it in normal mode and see how it will look. So I will make strokes at the lower side, on the dark area. I will adjust the brush size and continue adding this reflected light. That will also look like glow. Working on every finger, like this. Let's now go to this side and make strokes here as well, for the glow. On the fingers I will make the size smaller and continue making strokes, like this. On this one, actually, if you want to make it glow even more, there is a way to use bloom option together with Gaussian blur, but I think it looks fine as it is, not so shiny. I will just make a stroke on this stick, on the left side of it. Okay, we did it. Before we start working on the background, let's add a few spooky details. I will close the group, go to this layer and create another one above it. Select a black color from the color disk and a stamp with a spider. Its size is set to 5%. I will first tap somewhere here and then we can rotate it to change the angle. Then I will duplicate it, drag it down and also rotate it clockwise. We can put it somewhere here. After that I will merge these two layers, duplicate it once again and apply Gaussian blur to the layer below. For the shadow, we can set it to 4 or 5%, like this. Next, I will create a layer on top of all layers to draw the grass. There is a brush in the set, and it has two colors. So first we need to select primary color. I'll tap here and pick color number 3. Then tap on the second color and pick color number 4 for it. Let's set the size to around 31% and tap a few times. Like this. After that, I will click on the arrow, drag it slightly down. If you like, you can flip it. And then I will switch to Distort. Move the edges down like this. Make sure it covers the stick entirely. Then I will go to Adjustments, pick Hue, Saturation, Brightness, and make it dark by lowering the brightness to around 45%. Now let's create a gradient behind the Scarecrow, and to do that, I will first toggle the visibility of the background color. Then go to Actions, Add, Copy Canvas, and Paste. Let me drag this image down, and I will alpha lock it. Then duplicate. Let's recolor the first image into light pink color number 16. It is already locked, so we can simply tap Fill Layer. Then unlock it. Go to the next one and recolor it into color number 15. I will also tap Fill Layer here. Then unlock. So we can apply Gaussian blur. Let's start with this one. I will slide to the right side and set it to around 72%. So we will get a bigger gradient. We can actually move it a little up or use freeform transformation. Like this. Now let's go to the next image and also blur it, but apply a smaller amount. Let's say around 23%. Then also move it up and to the left. Like this. After that, we can play around with different blending modes. For example, for this one, I will select Divide. And to make it more visible, I will duplicate the layer. Now let's go to the orange color and try to set it to screen. Or it can be lightened. Pick whichever you like the most. In the next step, I will create a layer above this pink layer and select black color from the disk. There is a stamp with a spooky tree. Let's use it. Its size is set to 80%. I will first rotate the canvas like this and tap. Then I will rotate it in the opposite direction and tap again. We can do it a few times for the smaller branches. Then I will create one more layer that can be actually located above the grass. And in the brushes, I will go to Airbrushing to select medium hard airbrush. Set its size to maximum and draw a shape like this. Then it will go up on the sides. For the trees. And I will also paint in these corners, around the canvas. Now let's duplicate it. Go to this one and move it slightly up. Then I will also flip it horizontal. Go to Adjustments and lower the brightness. We can set it to around 37%. After that, I will drag it and put it under the trees. I think we can make it even lighter. Something like this. Let me just go back to the layer with the black color and blur it a little, so it'll look better. I will set the amount to 20%. After that, I will create a layer on top of all layers and set it to color dodge. I just want to add some tiny details for the glow. So I will select color number 14 and from Ink Inset, pick Inka brush. I will just add tiny highlights here and there. Also on this edge. Let's apply low pressure here. Then on the shoulder. And around the holes. I think I will make the size a bit smaller. We can also add these highlights on the dark part, like this. Let's have a look at it. I think we can highlight this part a bit more. And it'll be enough. Maybe let's also highlight some leaves on the grass. This way. Just a few of them. And after that, I want to make the eyes glow. For that, let's open the group. Go to this layer with the dark color and duplicate it. I will first alpha lock the layer to recolor it. Select light yellow color number 13. Go back to the layer and click Fill Layer. After that, I will unlock it and blur. We can set the amount to around 5 or 6%. After that, create a layer above it, clip it, pick white color from the color disk, and apply it using soft brush from Airbrushing section. Let's add a stroke here, also in the second eye, and inside the mouth, somewhere in the center. Then I will also blur it a little, like this. After that, I will merge these two layers, set it to hard light, and apply bloom. It's here in Adjustments. Let's slide to the right side to around 21%. And after that, we can adjust transition, size and burn. I will set transition to 90%, size to 43%, and increase burn to around 64% or so. In the end, I will only apply a paper overlay. Let me create a layer on top of all layers. Pick paper brush from the set. And using white color, I will apply it all over the canvas. Then set the layers mode to soft light to make it barely visible. And at this point, the drawing is complete. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more tutorials and brush sets, please check out my Patreon page. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon!